Hi guys, this is Steph from Active Self-Protection. I am the CEO here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something that we get accused of quite often here, and it's just simply not true.
After thorough testing, I recently changed my everyday OC spray to Palm Personal Defense Spray. It's nasty stuff and I recommend it highly.
So one of the things we are often accused of at Active Self-Protection is being an overnight success, an overnight sensation, just finding this niche in the self-defense community or YouTube self-defense community, sort of falling into it, and everything exploded from there. And in fact, I kind of got the idea for this video as a riff off of a video John did on his Facebook public figure timeline. You can check it out there if you want to, but he talked about ASP as an overnight success. And I didn't realize he was going to do this video, first of all. So as I'm scrolling through my feed, I see how we became an overnight success. And I immediately started laughing because I suspect we became an overnight success exactly the same way everyone else does. And it looked an awful lot like years and years of hard work, learning and changing and doing and preparing. And if you go back, this has been going on even before Active Self-Protection as a social media entity. There was preparation leading us to where we are now. So I don't want to talk about that per se. That is, you can go check that out on his Facebook page if you're interested in that. What I do want to talk about a little bit, though, we haven't done a behind the scenes in a while, so I want to do that, ask behind the scenes. And what I want to focus on today is the culture and the motivation behind Active Self-Protection. We've expanded quite a bit over the last year. We've added a couple of more employees, and we're going to be adding a couple more people over this next year. As we continue to grow and expand into new spaces and change things, it's really important to us to keep the heart and the culture of Active Self-Protection. I believe very, very strongly that it's that vision, it's that purpose, it's that bedrock foundation that has us where we are and will continue to benefit us in the future. I believe it is that has given us some level of success, and success to me might be quite a bit different than how you define it. Obviously, we're super grateful for all the subscribers that we have, for the views that we have. We're incredibly awestruck and grateful that we can make a living doing what we love, and that's fantastic. But all of that aside, I'm going to address in a little bit in one of my other ways. I talked about the different foundations, really what my motivation is, what I think it is was really important. The first thing, and this may or may not be of interest to you, but honestly, it is really the framework and the structure that holds everything in place. Currently, all of the staff at Active Self-Protection are believers in Jesus, and we follow Jesus. And because of that, that is our primary reason and motivation for what we do. That may or may not benefit you, or be important to you, but to gloss over that we're here because he asked us to be here, and we continue to do what we do every day because we feel that he's continuing to call us to do that and enable and equip us to do it, would feel very disingenuous to me. It has not been while we really try to make this welcoming community for everyone, and that'll become clear why later too, it would be disingenuous. It would be not who we are and not authentic to leave that bit out. So I don't say that to make people uncomfortable or to make you feel like that's what you have to be to fit in here. You don't. But that's one of the primary reasons of motivation why we do what we do. We are working and doing the things that God asked us to do and doing them excellently because Jesus asked us to do it. Point number 2, and this one is pretty important, is we really strive for a culture of excellence. We work very hard. A lot. We also really strive to keep boundaries and priorities the way they need to be, but we're really driven to excellence. Excellence in everything we do. Excellence in doing our piece of the business. Excellence as firearms instructors. Excellence as communicators. Excellence as stewards of what's been given to us. It's really important to us, and we strive towards that. And that kind of dovetails into the next reason, which is really important to me. We strive for excellence because it matters. What we do matters, not in an abstract way that's very difficult to understand, but what we teach you on this channel, the training things that we have on Active Self-Protection Extra, the video lessons and breakdowns and after action reports that we do on the main channel, they matter. And for some of you, they will matter a lot. And that's just the facts. I get about, this is the behind the scenes bit, I get probably once a week an email or message from someone telling me that they follow Active Self-Protection, and in the moment that it mattered, when they were faced with a self-defense issue, whatever that was, they leaned back on what they learned from Active Self-Protection. In fact, most of the time, probably one of the biggest comments we hear was, I heard John's voice. Or if they're talking to John, I heard your voice telling me what to do step by step as I got into this predicament. And these predicaments can range everything from, I saw what I think was a big problem developing, I saw these red flags, I saw these pre-assault indicators, and I avoided a situation, or I'm not sure I avoided a situation, but well, I certainly did avoid a situation. I don't know if anything was going to happen, but I made sure that it didn't, and I feel really good about that. I don't think I would have even seen it before watching your videos. So, of course, we call that a huge win. All the way up to when I had a gun pointed at my face, it was your voice that I heard. This was one of the earlier messages I got. I suppose it was about a year and a half ago. Well, not earlier, I guess, but it was about a year and a half ago. And I remember sitting at my desk feeling incredibly awestruck and humbled that the work we were doing when someone's life and everything important to them was on the line, when a gun was pointed in their face, it was John's voice that they heard. It was our work that they fell back on. That, friends, that'll change your perspective very, very quickly. And we were always pursuers of excellence. But that is something I go back to on an almost daily basis. When I don't feel like doing my dry fire, when I don't feel like reading a resource to become a better instructor, when I don't feel like keeping up on industry best practices, all of those things, I come back to the point that when it matters, people are going to be falling back on what we know and what we do and what we tell them. I'm not sure that a lot of instructors get the chance to connect those dots as specifically as we do, that I see the names, I read the stories over and over. Like I said, once or twice a week, I will get this message in varying formats. It is the message that what we do matters writ large. Our audience is big, it's all over the place, things are happening, and it's really a driving factor here at Active Self-Protection. And I'm really grateful for that reminder. The third thing that I think is important is we try to have fun. We definitely have a culture of being silly and having fun. We can be safe, we can do important things, but if we don't do them in a fun and engaging way, no one is going to listen. No one's going to be paying attention to the lessons. And, not to toot our own horn too much or anything, but the lessons have and will and do continue to save lives. So we have to be able to find a way to continue to do them. Let me tell you, friends, the comment section on YouTube, it's a dark, dark place. It can really, really have, an effect on your soul. It can really sort of start to diminish your light a lot. And if I wasn't doing this with my very best friends, if I wasn't doing this with people that I love, with people that I call family even more than friends, I'm not sure I could do it. There is a lot going on, a lot of darkness. There's a lot of, negative people. Obviously, you guys see an awful lot of that. Then there's a lot of, sort of off-base people that we have to deal with, maybe people that aren't super stable and super healthy. We have to deal with some of that. So if I weren't doing this and we weren't doing this in a way that we could have fun and be silly and be ourselves and be authentic, I don't think it's something that we could keep up long term. And like I said, I measure success in the fact that we are having impact on people's lives, on their emotional lives, on their physical lives, on their spiritual lives. And so the subs are awesome. The paycheck is great. Super grateful for that. But the stories that I hear from you and from the different people telling me that what I do matters, that is my motivation. That is our driving force here that keeps us doing the best that we can, continuing to evaluate and pressure test and change where we are so that we're continuing to give you the best information. There's a lot of things that we have changed our point of view on, changed our standards, changed our ideas, changed our practices, because as we moved on and pressure tested them, we found that what we were doing was not the best. And any real industry or art should always be doing that. You should always be questioning and testing and striving and changing, particularly if it's something where people's lives are at stake. And then I wanted to scale back. I started this off by saying one of the major reasons I do this, the reason that I'm here, is I really feel that this is something I was called by Jesus Christ to do. Part of that, though, is I believe very strongly that life was created in the image of God, and therefore it has this intrinsic value and preciousness to it. An innocent life of all kinds needs to be valued and fiercely defended. And so I want you in this community, whether or not we see the world the same way, I want you to be able to defend your boundaries the same as I want to be able to defend my own boundaries. So we've made it very clear that people of all political persuasions are welcome here. The Second Amendment, the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, is a right for everyone. It's not a right for Republicans. It's not a right for old fat white guys. It's not a right for people that agree with me. It's not a right for Christians. I feel very strongly as a patriot that first right that we have in the Bill of Rights encompasses a lot of things, and it protects people that don't agree with me. It's not to keep to protect me as a Christian from people being mean to me. That's not what that first right is about. The right to the freedom of religion is that the other people that don't agree with me and don't see things that way can protect their rights as well. And that comes from the Second Amendment, where we really get some teeth. We've got those rights and we can defend those boundaries as well. So it is super important to me that this community is accessible to all, that everyone is welcome here, people of all persuasions, of all shades, of all political stripes. If you are interested in innocent life being defended, if you want to know how best to defend yourself and those that you love, you are welcome here, and we are going to police our own to make sure that everyone is welcome here. Nothing gives me further heartache than to be added to some sort of gun group on Facebook, and that a friend wants to add me to, and looking at some of the vileness there, some of the political stuff that's there, some of the evil Democrats this, Republican worship that. It's a lot, folks, and it's not where my heart is. My heart is in the Second Amendment. It's for everyone. Disagree with me or not, and you should be able to defend your difference in beliefs from me taking over them. So we want you in the community. So even though I started off with that tenet, that sort of column, that foundation, that's why we do it. And we will continue to talk about what's important to us, and we wouldn't be authentic if we didn't, frankly. But that swings clear back around to, because I love Jesus, I love his creation, I love the people, and I want them all here, and I want them to feel welcome, and I want them to learn ways to understand that they are valuable. Women in particular, as a woman, it is important. I see some of the biggest problems with women in the self-defense industry is they have a really hard time understanding that they are worthy of being defended. Talk about defending their kids, that's no problem. They have no issue understanding that. But the understanding that they themselves, apart from any other relationship that they have, that they are worthy and precious, that's a little bit more of a challenge to them. So that is what we want. We want people in this community to see that they are precious, that they are worthy, that they are valuable, and that they can defend their boundaries from other people wanting to run over them. I should have at least as good a chance at defending my boundaries as you have to overrun them. And that's, to me, is really what the heart of the Second Amendment is all about. That a gun in particular is a great equalizer for, a smaller, shorter woman like me to be able to defend my boundaries, to defend my beliefs, and to defend myself and those that I love. So I guess I just wanted to share that with you, a little bit about ASP culture, what drives us, why we do what we do. If you guys have any questions about it or different things that you want to hear about behind the scenes or what we're thinking or what we're doing, I would love to help you. I'd love to talk through those with you and answer some of your questions. So feel free to leave those down below and we can talk about that. But for now, I'm really glad that you're in the community, particularly over here at Active Self Protection Extra. This is, the big channel is the big channel. It's awesome and it's fun and we like that. And it's really our bread and butter. But so much of our heart is here at Active Self Protection Extra because of all the personalities and the training, and it's almost a more serious community, really. If you're watching this channel, you're pretty serious about self-defense and learning, and I love that. So really glad that you're in the community, and thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to you. I look forward to talking with you a little more, communicating with you a little more throughout 2020.